This video is sponsored by PoketownStore.com, the place for all your Pokemon TCG online needs. This is a fantastic website if you want to start your online collection or if you're just looking for a specific code. Look at all these code cards that they offer. Definitely check it out, PoketownStore.com, and use the coupon code ZapdosTCG for 5% off your next order. Also, this video is sponsored by CardMarket.com. If you're a European player, you're obligated to check out this website. You can sell your own cards or purchase from people all across Europe, so this is a fantastic platform. I use it personally every day, and let's for example check out this boss's orders. You can see in time when the price is right and get notified when it has a specific amount of money. So at this point, €3.28 for a boss's orders. What a bargain sale right here. So definitely check out both of my sponsors. You'll definitely help me out with that a lot. What's up YouTube, it's ZapdosTCG here and welcome back to another TCG video on my channel. Today we're gonna be talking about tech cards. If you guys don't know what tech cards are, I actually made a video a while back, like in the Heart Gold Soul Silver era, what tech cards are. This is an updated video just for the new people out there. Tech cards are actually cards that are very easily put into your deck, mostly like a 1 or a 2 slot into your deck to help your matchup against a specific deck. For instance, let us just give a little example with this Hoopa, for instance, or maybe a little better example. Let's say this Tapu Fini. The most easy example ever. You're playing 1 copy of Tapu Fini in your deck to have a better matchup against Blacephalon deck. So it's just as easy as that. You just have this one single card that can now attack for a cardless energy if the opponent has an Ultra Beast in play. And just out of nowhere, your Blacephalon matchup becomes better, because for 1 energy, you can knock out a baby Blacephalon, which is awesome. So that is typically what the tech cards are. It's a 1 or 2 card off in your deck to help against a specific matchup. In this video, we're going to talk about a couple of the tech cards that do survive the rotation, and we are going to talk about why you are going to use them and which scenarios, and why they are still in my must buy, or actually these have to be in your binder, for instance, if you want to have an answer against everything. I'm also going to talk about some new tech cards getting released in Darkness Ablaze, so hopefully you guys are excited. If you are excited, be sure to let me know by destroying that like button. And without further ado, let's get this show on the road. We have Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff. This saw a lot of play during the days that Pikarom was everywhere, because Pikarom used a lot of the Dennis and of course Pikarom itself. I don't think you'll actually need this, but I wanted to give this as an example because you could easily slap in a Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff into your like Malamar list, into your Mewtwo list, into your Welder list. It doesn't matter, because Jumping Balloon was that kind of a tech card. We're gonna get some similar effect in a Golisopod and Darkness Ablaze, but more on that later. So for now, I don't think you'll need it, but it's just nice mentioning. Next up, we have this Persian here with Make 'em Pay. This was in almost every control deck out there, because this is a nice way to put the opponent to a 4-card hand. You can look at the opponent's hand and then discard cards you find there until the opponent has exactly 4 cards in the hand. This was necessary to make sure you discard stuff like Boss's Orders, for instance. We're going to be getting a Galarian Obstagoon, a new one, which has this as an ability. But this has a stage 2, and that is actually not too splashable into decks. This was very splashable also with Ditto Prism Star back in the days. It was awesome. Now Ditto Prism Star is rotated, so this is seeing a little bit less play. Also, Control gets slapped in the face, but this is a nice way if you want to discard a certain amount of cards from the opponent's hand. Next is Absol. This was a very popular card during its release time, because almost all decks were big basic decks, and this gives basic Pokemon an extra retreat cost. This also countered, of course, Jirachi with its beloved escape board. Now it sees a little bit less play, but could be tacked into an Eternatus V Max matchup to, of course, make sure that the opponent has more retreat, so they have a little bit hard times ahead of them. I don't know if we'll see any more play like back in the days, but it's definitely a nice ability to make sure that basic Pokemon have an extra cardless energy in their retreat cost. Galarian Zigzagoon seems to be splashing into a lot of decks as of late because of the Headbutt Tantrum, just as a one-off copy in your deck. As a little example, people use this Galarian Zigzagoon in the Baby Blacephalon list with Scoop Up Nets just to have a better edge in the mirror match, because with this Galarian Zigzagoon, you could actually use the Headbutt Tantrum on something like Oricorio GX, and then use the Cramorant V to, of course, use Spit Shot to knock out that Oricorio GX, which was otherwise not possible. So very nice if you're missing that one specific damage counter, and this is going to be seeing a whole lot of play. It's in the Eternatus VMAX deck as a 4-off, so that can already tell you that this card is so successful. Next up is Hoopa. Hoopa saw tons and tons of plays. I even played this at the World Championships to have a little bit of a better matchup against Malamar. This actually smacks 10 damage plus 20 more for every Pokemon in the opponent's field that has an ability. So in the Malamar cases, that was a lot, so you could dish out tons and tons of damage. Nowadays, this could also be tagged into decks. If you see, like, in the meta, oh, there's a deck that runs on a ton of abilities, then you can just use Hoopa to be your one prize Pokemon. It only requires a colorless energy, which is fantastic. We have Heracross here. This could be a tech card against ADP, because it does state here, if one of your opponent's Pokemon use the GX move attack during their last turn, you shuffle that opponent's active Pokemon and all cards back into their deck. So that's gonna be insane. Yeah, that could be used to get the ADP instantly in the deck, but I don't know if it'll be any good, because I do think GXs will see a decrease in play, as well as Turbo Patch helping out ADP's lists out. So I don't know if this is any good, but it's still out there as an option. Omastar, we've seen this in any like big basic greens list, like let's say Reshizard, Guard of War, even Lucario, Melmetal. All of these decks revolve around the greens exploration list can make use of Omastar, because you can easily get your unidentified fossil and rare candy out of the deck, thanks to, of course, the greens exploration. This also saw play with Gengar Mimikyu, by the way, probably one of my more favorite decks, yeah, to be honest, because having item lock and dishing out more damage depending on how many trainers they had was awesome. So Omastar can be tagged into decks to make sure that the opponent is in an item lock if they have more bench spaces, locked in than you. So that's gonna be nice. Entei is a fire type, and nowadays I know counter gain is gone, and counter energy was also like a good thing with it. Anyhow, this is a deck that actually a card that could help you out against Zacian. You smack 30 damage, but if one of your Pokemon got knocked out from damage during your opponent's last turn, you can smack 90 more damage. Also a nice stack card as a one prizer against things like the Decidueye deck, which is pretty annoying, blocking damage from V Pokemon as well as GXs. This could be used in some sort of an energy acceleration deck. You don't always need Weller. Maybe you're playing something like Turbo Patch in your list, and you can slide in this Entei with Aurora energies, and you can be good to go to have yourself a fiery answer. Next up is Ninetales V. We didn't see Ninetales V at all during its release and Rebel Clash, but we could actually see Ninetales V working out as more VMAXs get powerful and get better attacks. Then could be sliding into a fire deck instantly to just have a better matchup against those, because if you, let's say a VMAX comes out that says for like 6 energies you smack 350 damage, then you could just copy it with this Ninetales Shapeshifter attack. Torkoal V is also a card that got slided into the Welder decks just to have a better matchup against stuff like Dracopult, as well as having a better matchup against Obstagoon, which was very hard for the deck to say the least. So with that Steam Crush you can discard 2 energies, so that is a very nice stack card to discard energies. We have Ninetales. This saw play in some sort of decks like, let's say, Reshizard, also Baby Blast. Typically wanted to make sure you have a better matchup against those stall archetypes. You could gust around the Lily's Pokédoll, so with Ninetales. Eldegoss V, you might think, why is this a tech card? It's very nice because sometimes it will allow you to reuse one-off supporters in the form of like Malolana, having a better matchup against Dracopult VMAX, reusing Bossazord so you have a better matchup against like, this will probably be going into the ADP Zacian deck, so you have better outs for Gusting, which in turn helps out against Eternatus VMAX. So reusing supporters like that is awesome. Also thinking about it, stuff like the Team Yagrunt could be nice to reuse. Like all those one-off supporters, very nice. Eldegoss could be fulfilling that role. We have Magneton here with the call signal. As mentioned, this will be used in like if you're ever playing a control or stall archetype and it's very, very popular, you might even consider Magneton, so you can blow it up, search your deck for 3 supporter cards. That could be Lieutenant Search and whatever else other supporter cards you want, but this activates the way you're going to be able to use Lieutenant Search in the mirror match, so very nice, blowing your Magneton up as a tech card. This Giratina sees a lot of play in any scoop up list just because more and more special energies get released. We've seen that it works out against Horror Psychic energy, Speed Lightning energy, the High Darkness energy, the Heat Fire energy. There's so many special energies now in the format that this is going to be a nice way you can have an answer to discard special energies and have a better matchup against heavy special energy using decks. And DDV was a tech card against Shrine of Punishment initially, helping out Mewtwo to of course not be Mimikyu Shadow Boxed, but this could be helping out in other decks that like use Galarian Zigzagoon on you, or maybe those decks with Flapple. Maybe they want to spread damage around so they could use Sable IV. This could be improving your Sable IV matchup if you want to be using that. Then we have Jirachi GX helping out against your Psychic weakness. So you need this in order to get rid of your Psychic weakness. So even if you're playing in the future like Lucario V, or you're still playing Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team GX, if you want to get rid of your Psychic weakness, this is the tag card for you. This is Marshadow, ladies and gentlemen. This is the way you want to have, of course, an answer against Chaotic Swell. If you see that in the meta, lots of Chaotic Swell is being played, putting a Marshadow into your deck helps out against those scenarios. Mew from Unbroken Bonds, probably the most played tech card out of the bunch because this prevents all damage done to your bench Pokemon by attacks. We've seen it working out for Venom Shot attacks, for Tag Ball GX, even for the new Salamence VMAX. And the Salamence spreading so much damage around, you might even consider having a Mew in your deck to have a better matchup against, of course, the mentioned Salamence V. Next is Mewtwo, having the same scenario effect like Eldegoss V, but instead of going to your hand, you put the supporter back on top of the deck. This could mean if you're also playing Oranguru, you can get that card immediately, or you can just have something like Stellar Rage grabbing the card instantly. So this also gets back supporters. As mentioned, those one-off supporters will be way more powerful in a Mewtwo list. Also, with Mewtwo and Scoop Up Nets, you can even abuse the supporter even further than with the one-off Eldegoss in your deck. Mimikyu with Shadow Box blocks GXs that have any damage counters on them. In the past, this was very busted to shut down stuff like Zeraora GX. Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team GX was one of the best decks in the format. You could shut that down instantly. You can even, at now, I don't think it will see that much use since people will grab to other like V Pokemon instead of like the GXs. But you could still use this actually if you are having like some sort of a Salamence deck. To shut down stuff like Oricorio GX. This could still see some niche uses, but I don't think it'll be that popular. Next is Mr. Mime with the Scoop Up block ability. Your opponent's Pokemon that have any damage counters on them cannot get scooped up into their hand, so cannot be grabbed into their hand. Even if there's a new card released, like for instance Acerola comes back, or you never know what happens. Super Scoop Up gets a re-release, could be awesome, but for now it blocks Scoop Up Net. So in an instance where you're playing Salamence VMAX, this could be a tech card for, of course, decks that run lots of Scoop Up Nets. That means all the damage sticks and they cannot grab their Pokemon from the bench back into their hand. This Mr. Mime GX is a nice way. Prevents all damage done to this Pokemon by the opponent's attacks if they are exactly 10, 30, 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 150, 170, 190, 210, 230, or 250. I know if people use like Baby Blacephalon and blow up on you instantly, you just get knocked out anyhow. But this is odd numbers, so this could be used in some sort of a way where you're playing a stall deck and you know, oh, this deck only smacks odd numbers. That means you can have this as a attack card to stall out. But I wonder if we will see any play. These Mr. Mimes typically don't see the success they deserve because let's say you use ADP, use Ultra Creation GX, and then Zacian smacks to 60, so it goes automatically goes through these Mr. Mime. We also lose one Mr. Mime from Celestial Storm, by the way. Here is Galarian Rapidash. Your Pokemon recover from all special conditions and can be affected by special conditions. Maybe a 1-1 line of Rapidash will help out. For instance, this could be used as a tech card against Toxtricity VMAX if that ever sees any play in the post-rotation shenanigans. But helping out against special conditions could be nice with this Galarian Rapidash. There's Cryogonal as a one-off, could be very huge in certain scenarios. I'm gonna give you a little example. Baby Blacephalon used 4 Fire Crystals and 2 Retrievals already. Well, easy. Well, you just put up Cryogonal, use Frozen Lock, and they cannot dish out any more damage, which is awesome. So Cryogonal as a little bit of a tech card here. There is Fion, being able to, of course, gust the opponent up. This saw a lot of play, of course, to make sure you get through the dolls. But now with Boss Orders, it's a little bit seeing less play. But it's still a tech card to gust the opponent. Use something like a repel effect. The opponent has to select their new active Pokemon, but it's still nice. Then Psyduck, Glimwood Tangle is a new stadium card coming out, which lets you reflip coins. This is going to be a tech card I mentioned because this headache attack of Psyduck is busted. We've seen it before in the Unknown deck. Flip a coin of heads, the opponent cannot play any trainer cards. That means no supporters, no stadiums, no items. It's not item lock, it's trainer lock. Could be so busted, and I wonder if Psyduck will even get its own archetype because not being able to play down any trainers is insane. Maybe with hammers and all that, you never know. And then of course the Fini I mentioned for Blacephalon. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this small little video about what are tech cards. But now you get an update because now we're gonna go over to Darkness Ablaze. Hello, here we are, Darkness Ablaze. This is a new tech card, being able to use that, a 1/1 line and twin energies. If you're playing twin energies, this could be a tech card into your deck. Maybe you're playing Welder, could also be part of your deck. This attack smacks 30 damage, plus 50 more for every V Pokemon and GX in play. So, each of your, the opponents. So, let's say the opponent's playing Eternatus. They have Eternatus on their bench, Eternatus on their bench, 2 Crobats on their bench. That's already 4 of them. That means you smack 230 damage with a 1 prize Pokemon. Very, very insane, I rec. Even if like a new Darkness archetype comes out and they're weak against grass, you're definitely going to be trying this out. Golisopod might see some uses in the future. Next up, we have Milotic, being able to heal 20 damage from every one of your Pokemon. Maybe if you're playing a deck that can spread damage on your own Pokemon, you might want to use that. Maybe you want to have this as an answer against Salamence V-Spread. You never know. A 1/1 line of Milotic. Next is Solrock. If you have Lunatone in play, your opponent's Pokemon have no resistance. Let's say the best deck in the format has some sort of a resistance and you don't get the damage output just yet. Just 2 cards in your deck could help that matchup even further. We have Dracofish, evolved from the rare fossil. If this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent cannot play down evolution Pokemon from their hand. That is insane. That blocks every VMAX that you know, every stage 1, every rare candy based stage 2 Pokemon. This could actually be some kind of like a way to win against the Decidueye. Very easy tech. Like say, oh no, I'm having issues against the Decidueye. I know Boss Zordus could still like get around this effect, but just put this in the active position and wait for the opponent to deck out, I guess. While you just set up on the bench as well. Or maybe you can have some other way, but this is a nice busted ability. Reminds us of Archeops, well without the Maxie's hidden Boltrick. Next is Mimikyu. This prevents Malolana. Your opponent's bench Pokemon cannot be healed. So no Hyper Potion, no Malolana, whatever they want to do. If they're on the bench, they cannot heal. So new tech cards are coming out in Darkness Ablaze. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video about the tech cards. If you did enjoy it, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe for more content, and I will be seeing you guys in the next video very, very shortly. Peace out.